It's okay, I know what you're thinking, but don't worry. I took basic welding in high school. What could possibly go wrong?
This thing's a monster now.
Thank you, Athletic Greens, for sponsoring today's video. It does nothing. Well, it turns out, kind of an idiot. Not a surprise by any means, but it turns out that being a self-certified YouTube automotive technician does not suffice. And building this kind of stuff. The guy that actually built this kit saw the video, reached out, said, "You're an idiot and a waste of space." Just kidding, guys. He actually didn't say that. He said I installed this incorrectly, which we're gonna be correcting today, along with some grinding, some welding, some bolting back up, because this truck is getting back on the road this weekend. That is the goal anyways. Guys, aloha and komo mai. Welcome back to the garage. Welcome back to paradise. A lot of money has been thrown at this 2007 Silverado over the last few weeks. In the rear of the truck, we installed a hanger shackle kit from CWF Off-Road and Deaver U182 leaf springs with King adjustable shocks. This is pretty much stage one for the rear of the truck. Yes, a bed cage will be coming in the future with some more enhanced options. In the front, we have a full long travel suspension kit, fabricated and boxed upper lower control arms, King 2.5 coilovers, AC Delco, brand new OEM hubs, and on order we have some more powerful brakes coming, but they're coming soon, not here today. Look how low that long travel hangs. When the guys over at CWF saw the video, they're like, dude, you did not bolt up the spindle right to your lower control arm. This guy is actually supposed to be there. I don't know what I was thinking. Regardless of the reason, we gotta tear this back off before we proceed with welding on our limit straps and reinstalling our stock brakes until the other ones get here soon. Now, we got a bit of testosterone boosting manly work to do today, but I wanna first give a big mahalos to a product that's been helping me do the manliest thing that you can do for yourself, taking care of your health. Hit me with the water. Hit me with the water. What we have here is AG1 by Athletic Greens. All right, guys, Athletic Greens believes that giving your body the nutrition that it needs should be simple. AG1 is a daily nutritional drink with 75 vitamins, minerals, and whole food sourced ingredients to do just that. It's more than just a greens drink. Personally, I'm a has-been athlete, husband, father of two. I have a demanding career and a side hustle, which is this channel. As you can imagine, a lot of the time I spend working on this channel happens late at night after these two have gone to bed, which means I need sustained energy throughout the day for my career, but also late at night in order to achieve those goals in creating this content. AG1 has been a massive help in that department. I've been drinking it pretty much every single day religiously for the last 2 months, and I've seen sustained energy throughout the day, and I do not crash at night like I used to. AG1 has been a super simple daily habit I've been able to keep to simply a scoop of this into 12 ounces of water. I drink it once a day, and I've actually come to really enjoy the taste. I throw a couple ice cubes in there, and it's pretty refreshing. It's not a sugar-filled drink by any means, but it's not bad at all. Now, what's cool about this is there's a link in description below to help you get started with your first order of AG1. As a part of this offer, Athletic Greens is offering an entire 1-year supply of vitamin D3 and K2 with that order on top of 5 free travel packs. So hop on it while you can, guys. Link in description below. Thank you again so much to Athletic Greens for sponsoring today's video. Let's get back to it. Here we go. I love that car. All right, so we got our hardware taken out of our lower joint, and I spent a little bit of time cleaning out the grease because for some reason I thought you had to grease the upper and lower, and I did, so I just spent like 30 minutes cleaning it out. So all the grease is gone, and what we're gonna do now is slip this right in between this two, I think it's a clevis it's called. The lower control arm goes here, not underneath. Okay, Craftsman. You know, I've always been curious since Craftsman Tools has acquired new ownership, if their tools have really kind of kept the quality. I just broke a breaker bar. Kalani, look. Look, it broke.
Oh no. we're done, guys. We're corrected. It's time to get the brakes back on. So we have our lower control arm placed where it's actually supposed to go on the spindle. And I went ahead also and cut the stock boot that sits on top of the steering arm, and just kind of to fit and cover some of this. It's not gonna seal it up at all, but at least it'll cover up a little bit of whatever's hanging out. Meanwhile, this kid's just hammering on his bike. I'm impressed that he got it up so high on that jack and it hasn't fallen off yet. Very impressed. So here in the back of the truck, we have all this fun stuff. We need to find our rotor, pads, and the caliper bracket. Well, here we have our caliper bracket, but it's not bolting up. It does not line up because it's contacting right there. This portion here, we're gonna grind this down to basically shape this more in an arc. It is not gonna compromise the strength of the caliper. There's plenty of metal here. But in the meantime, I'm gonna talk over Baymax playing right there. We got our new decals for our shock reservoirs. We have our black decals, and it is upside down and backwards because this is intended to mount somewhere down here, but I wanted it mounted up top, so I bought the Dirt King shock reservoir mount. So it's mounted directly above the shock, and I'm gonna put that guy. That's gonna look a lot better. That already looks a lot better. But I actually received a tip on Instagram that these guys, you can actually put black heat shrink around it, and it makes it look a little more clean versus just like a metal hose clamp. Oh, that is so much better than a black. Happy we went that route and did that. We also have our heat shrink on our hose clamps, looking nice. But it is really late now. Kids need to get to bed, and we will be back in the morning in about 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, my neighbors!
All right. Try to prevent making a massive mess. We got most of that trimmed up. Our caliper brackets, clears. So this is the brake line bracket, and our new brake line she don't fit. So we're gonna clearance this just a little bit. Now that we've made all the mistakes on our passenger side, we can go ahead and knock out our driver's side real quick because we know what to do now. First off, stock brake caliper. We need to clear the inside of this, or clearance it just a bit to fit with our new spindles and give enough clearance for our ABS wire. We're gonna unhook our stock brake hose here at the caliper, and in here at this bracket. The hole is actually not large enough to fit our new brake line, so we do need to pull that off, clearance it out a little bit. On the caliper, we're gonna pull this banjo bolt out. I had to go run and get some new copper washers, which we have now. We're gonna use that banjo bolt with our new brake line back into the stock caliper. Once that's done, we can bolt everything back onto this beautiful assembly with some really ugly, old, rusted, warped brake parts. So we have our stock caliper bracket that's now trimmed. That fits beautifully. So before we put that on, we're gonna get the stock rotor put back on, get the caliper bracket, get the caliper bolted up. Once the caliper's bolted back up, then we're gonna take that line off of there, swap that banjo bolt for our new braided line from CWF. We'll be good. Who is ready to weld some straps? That's the project today. So how we're gonna do this is let the suspension fully droop all the way. We're gonna jack our lower control arm up approximately 2.5 inches, in which we're gonna install our limit straps. Now these limit straps are going to include welding this guy to the frame, and I haven't welded since basic welding in high school. What could possibly go wrong? You go here. All right, 14.5 is the measure at the bottom of my hub. I'm gonna come up 2.5 inches to 17, and that's where we're gonna weld in our limit strap to prevent the lower control arm from extending any further than that. So right now, the king shock is fully extended. We strap it at 2.5 inches up from that to prevent any damage happening to the shock, I believe. Thank you, Jeremy, for the tips. Super helpful because I have no idea what I'm doing. All right, so we got our limit strap here. McKenzie's limit strap. Figure out how to weld that guy right there to the frame rail. It's gonna be fun. I got a helmet.
That's a write-off.
You modding your bike, bud?
Yeah.
Love some chips. Shoots, shoots. We're getting there. We're getting there. Well, here is some leaf springs that I don't need anymore. We're gonna practice or figure this out again. It's like riding the bike, right? Point and shoot. Progress, guys. That's all we're looking for. Progress. So yesterday, that was what we were doing. Just a few moments ago, we started here and then worked our way here and messed with the settings a little bit more and eventually got to there. We're getting better. We're getting better. Please don't roast me too hard in the comments. We are figuring it out. And we're back with another day. The weather, absolutely horrendous. I want to practice a little bit more before we go ahead and weld permanently onto the frame of my truck. So we have our old exhaust off the ZL1. Practice tack welding something to something else.
Practice. Practice makes improvement. That's what we're going for. I just burned through that entire roll of welding wire. The bead's looking a little bit better, but I could not figure out why there's so much just splatter going on. I was doing some reading and apparently the 035 puts out a lot more splatter. It's a slightly thicker wire, so I'm trying the 030 now. Here, we're gonna see if we can control how clean the bead's looking. I want it to both penetrate well, hold well, but also look half decent. But we need to get better, a lot better. So frustrating, so frustrating. I feel like I'm in a glass case of emotion. I do really good and then total crap immediately after. So I have this little plate, 3/16 is the thickness of it, and I think it's identical to that limit strap that I'm gonna be welding onto my frame. Total Hanabata garbage there at the bottom, and then started a decent bead and then continued that up. I know that's not pretty, but that's pretty dang solid. It's kind of a hit or miss for me if I'm actually continuing that bead up, or if it just gets really, really ugly. A learning process for sure, but to be honest, that's the whole point of the channel, so can't complain too much. But I did just go through another roll of MIG wire. So cheers to that 20 bucks. Another 20 bucks. Here we go. Long at last, I think I figured it out finally. It ain't pretty, but it's relatively consistent. And that's solid. I'm gonna try to bang this thing off of here real quick just to make sure it penetrated all the way. And then you're next. Heck yeah. There goes nothing. Hey, do you know those guys that are always like, I know someone that can do it cheaper? This guy. So it did not go according to plan, but we resorted to my backup plan, which was that ain't going anywhere game plan.
First off, at the outside, the most visible part isn't that horrible.
And on this side, unfortunately, there's just no other way to put it than just bad.
We're gonna truck bed liner over the top of it so you can't see that nasty mess that I just created. However, that ain't going anywhere.
And I know a guy that can do it cheaper.
All right, guys, there she is. Passenger side, fully strapped. That's solid. And the truck bed coating covering, it doesn't look as bad, but again, I'm not super happy with it. I don't know. We're on to our driver's side. We're gonna do this side a little bit differently. I'm gonna go ahead and scrape off or clean off a lot of this truck bed coating, because what happened on the other side as with welding, basically this boiled up and just kind of flaked off. And then I went back and put a new coat and made it look kind of iffy. So we're gonna scrape off a good amount of this, plate it, mark it, weld it, move on. Nearly 3 weekends into this now. Come on.
Frustrating. So frustrating. All right, where are my welders at? If you're a welder and can lay beads that look like this, you guys deserve more credit. Hats off to you guys. I cannot figure this out. I don't know what the deal is. Welding in this vertical motion. What I noticed was I always struggle at the beginning to really get the pull going. And once I get the pull going about halfway up, but that bottom section is so ugly and such a struggle that I grind it down, try it again, grind it down, try it again, and it just doesn't pan out. I am open to any suggestions or comments or advice in the comments below. Please let me know. I don't know what's going on. We're gonna clean that up, get truck bed coating on it so you can't see my ugly weld. We'll get our limit strap bolted on. We'll let it hang down. We need to bleed the brakes still, and then tires and wheels going back on the truck because I'm driving this thing out of the garage today. All right, go, push. Push, all the way down. Try this again. Dude, was that awesome? Let's go! Oh my goodness. I am
blown away that my DIY eyeball alignment actually worked out pretty well. The steering wheel's a little bit to the right, but it tracks straight and it feels really solid and really good. My goodness, guys, I'm blown away. That tire's a little bit, it's still a little bit to the right. It is. Oh my goodness. Look at that monster. Oh, it's a beast. That is gonna do it, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me till this point in the video. And just for you guys, just because you hung out until this point, here's a little sneak peek to the shoes. They're gonna be hitting our Makaha Runner project. They're pretty beefy.
Yeah, buddy. 37, 13 and a half. These are gigantic.
If you guys enjoyed this one, smash that like button below. We'll catch you guys
In a few days for our next video. Until that day comes, y'all take care. Ahui ho. Aloha. Hit me with water. Bye-bye. All right, lighting department. Lights, let's go.